care so little about the farting aliens of Raxacoricofallapatorius that I'm going to use the same intro 2 days in a row. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. The Aliens of London is easily my least favorite story of the Ninth Doctor era. And, they can't all be winners, and this one isn't terrible. There's some good things about it, and I'll get to that in just a second. But honestly, the introduction of the Slitheen, the farting aliens, is just too much. I'm not above childish humor, and I wouldn't mind a fart joke, but the constant farting throughout this story is just crass and tasteless and takes away from some of the actual drama in the story. The Slitheen are the first major recurring alien race that Russell T Davies presents, and they're just dreadful. They're just, I could completely live without them. But getting to the good part of this story, the Aliens of London is the first time that Doctor Who has ever dealt directly with the aftermath of a companion leaving with the Doctor. The Doctor and Rose return to London, what the Doctor intends to be 12 hours after their departure, but he accidentally gets it at 12 months after their departure. There are missing posters of Rose all around the neighborhood. Her mother has been desperately searching for her for the past year. Everyone thinks she's dead. Everyone thinks Mickey killed her. He's spent the last year being repeatedly hauled in by the police and interviewed, and virtually nobody will speak to him because they think he's a murderer. It's a horrible situation that Rose walks back into. And it's really interesting for Doctor Who to actually address that for once. In the entire history of the show, there has never been a commentary on what happens when a companion leaves. And so on that count, I give the story high marks for originality, and Camille Cador is fantastic as Jackie Tyler, Rose's mom. And even Mickey is much better in this episode now that the actor has time to settle into the role and understand the tone of the show. Unfortunately, he finally gets the tone right, and Russell T Davies just throws all that out the window with fart jokes. But what can you do? There are 13 episodes to fill, and not all of them can be home runs. Now, the other interesting thing in the story retroactively is the presence of Toshiko, who will go on to be one of the main characters in Torchwood. And it's kind of fun to see her in this, knowing where her character will be going. But beyond all that, there's fart jokes. Just lots and lots of fart jokes, and that's really hard to get past. I do have one little piece of trivia in this. If you watch very carefully when the alien spaceship crashes through Big Ben is backwards. When the model effects work was being done, it was shot in one direction, but then when it was being composited into the final film, they discovered they had the direction of the alien spaceship backwards, and they had to flip the film. It's not leapingly obvious, but if you're familiar with the face of Big Ben, it is absolutely definitively backwards. What can you do? Mistakes happen. So that's it today for the Aliens of London. Tomorrow is World War III, the second half of this story, and this being the first two-parter of the modern Doctor Who era, and the first story to end on a proper cliffhanger. So I'll give it marks for that as well. But still, the fart jokes. I'll see you tomorrow.